Coming in at number 84 on our top 100 video games of all time is Perfect Dark from Rare. This is Joanna Dark. This is Rare firing on all cylinders. This was the answer to all of the hope and expectation that came off of GoldenEye 007.
So right.
How were they going to top themselves, and how were they ever going to be able to create their own original property that mattered as much as their last James Bond first-person experience had? And boy, did they achieve that with Perfect Dark.
Boy, did they ever. I mean, as soon as this game loads up and you get a look at that cityscape and you're on top of this rooftop and there are things landing and taking off, I mean, you can practically hear the Nintendo 64 wheezing underneath the weight of this game. I mean, Rare was always a company that overreached. They went too far. They wanted their games to do more than the hardware could do, and that happens in every second, every moment. I mean, there is a little bit of slowdown going back to this thing. It hasn't aged as well as you would have liked, but I remember playing this thing. I remember it being perfect with the Nintendo 64 controller, that weird oblong sex toy thing that Nintendo foisted upon us. I mean, all the different buttons and everything seemed to work perfectly with this game.
They knew the hardware.
You had a million different things you could do when playing this game, and every button on the controller seemed to do something newer and more magical than the other.
Well, think about what they accomplished, right? I mean, first-person shooters were really the domain of PC gamers, and that was where the best first-person shooters kind of existed, but Rare was able to bring people to television sets, crowd them around on a couch, and look at little corners of the square of the TV screen cut up into 4 different smaller squares, and people would have a blast all weekend long. First of all, playing GoldenEye, and then secondly, playing Perfect Dark, which was loaded with all kinds of great multiplayer options.
Now, let me tell you, this is happening a lot as we go through this list. I feel this uncontrollable compulsion to go play these games.
I know.
This one in particular right now, I want to drop the microphone and go home and play this and do all the levels perfectly to go through on the hardest skill level.
That was the other thing that they were always great at?
Yeah, Rare was always great in squeezing every ounce of replayability out of everything in their game. They'd make you go back to levels. There would be new objectives that you hadn't seen the first time around that you'd have to complete. I was in love with this game for months, and this was back at a time when there weren't a lot of games to play. You didn't have a ton of options, and this was a game that sat in my Nintendo 64, and I didn't take it out for the longest time.
Yeah, and it was a social game as well. This was a game where you would have people crowded around a TV set, everybody just staring in disbelief at what was achievable on a home console at the time. Now, obviously, this game has dated. It doesn't look the greatest on the N64 anymore, but they did do an HD upgrade, and we've taken a look at Perfect Dark a couple times on the show. What'd you think of Perfect Dark for the N64, my friend?
We've been waiting, what, 3 years now for this sucker that's been in development, and let me tell you, fans, it is worth the wait. The animation's great, the graphics are great, the sound is great, the story is great. Basically think GoldenEye times 4, because that's basically what this game is.
What's the greatest thing about the game? Multiplayer.
If I wanted to play multiplayer by myself with 7 other computer players, some easy, some medium, some hard, and some super freaks, I can do that.
She's got to infiltrate the Datadyne Corporation, find out all this information about an alien infiltration.
You have to steal an alien in this game. How cool is that?
It's amazing to see the depths of design that Rare went to.
That's what I kept thinking about, is Rare was the Infinity Ward of the 90s. They made incredible games back then, and I just
You know what?
I feel
They're better
so
than that.
terrible that they just fell to pieces, because this game has so many great ideas, and it's so mature, and it's so weird, and it's so cool, and Joanna Dark is such a strong character.
This game echoes some of the stuff that was presented in Deus Ex and System Shock. It has depth, it has detail. There's Half-Life type elements in here.
I just love the mission design of being able to go in and play like just as a regular player, and then go in as an agent, and go in as a special agent. I like how it just, you can go back and replay these levels. You know, this is only 800 Microsoft points.
Amazing.
And
I mean, like,
I think
don't even think. Just get this damn game. It's so good. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
I'm with you, 9.5.